Qualified people still getting calls back for jobs. Qualified people are still getting calls back. I'm just saying. So my old lady getting ready to retire from the military, and she doing her taps or whatever this week, and she just sent her little resume out there just bullshitting or whatever, just seeing what stick. Tell me why they called her back yesterday. A company called her back yesterday, offered her goddamn $110,000 just off the bat. Lady tell her, man, your resume seemed too good to be true. I thought it was AI to come do legal work and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, off bat. Now I know TikTok say, 100K ain't no real money. I forgot. But qualified people are still getting calls, bro.
And I'm going to pause it right there. Yeah, I want to say qualified people are still getting hired for sure, but a lot of people do not have the correct job search strategy or a good resume to even get calls back. And why I say that, because his wife applied and she got called back quickly. I've had jobs where as long as it wasn't work day and I applied, like within like 30 minutes or an hour, I got hit up to do a screening. But if that ain't happening for you, if your LinkedIn email is bad or all the above, you need some help. It don't even got to be for me, but I'm just letting you know you need some help. But let's finish to see what Benny got to say.
A lot of people, I always say COVID was a glitch in the system because a lot of people was able to finesse. You saw videos after video how to finesse your resume and how to, AI your resume and that whoop whoop. Yeah, the hiring managers in these companies saw them same TikToks, bro. And y'all thought that shit was gonna last. You remember how those day in the life of a tech girly video, that trend I was just floating around? Y'all, that shit gone. I ain't seen one of them since. I wonder why. Because, everybody was running out, following the TikTok videos, getting the bare minimum certifications, applying for these entry-level tech positions. And when them layoffs came, they were the first ones to get caught. When they was posting out, running around, showing, how they was working from home, but going to get their hair and nails done and shit. Yeah, that shit dried up real quick, bro. And then y'all was finessing them resumes and AI in them fucking resumes. And then when you happen to slip through and get a call back, you can't speak to none of that shit. Because you was too busy finessing. See, it's one thing to finesse your resume and make,
Hold on, man. I got to hang on real quick.
Hit the right button.
Listen, man. Now, he was cooking. What he just stated about the finesse resume and you can't speak to nothing is key. I remember 4 or 5 years ago I don't even know how this young lady was able to schedule a call with me. So she ended up being able to schedule a free call. I was looking at her resume, and she had all the different SIMs on there. She had Splunk, she had QRadar, she had Nitro, she had ArcSight. And so I started asking her about them, and she couldn't tell me nothing about them. And so I was like, so you ain't working with none of this stuff? Nah, I just got my resume done. When you do that, I'm going to tell y'all a little secret. Let me whisper to you. When you black, the most stuff you got on your resume, the harder your interview going to be. I like to tell y'all, keep it simple. Whatever you don't know. We will not put it on there. Because when you get all them search, you put all them tools and everything on there, the question will get hard. Oh, we got ourselves an expert. I need to put a video of Major Payne right here. But, yeah, we got ourselves an expert here, y'all. Let's ask them all these hard questions. How do I know this? It's happened to me. When the people were not trying to have a conversation with me, they just want to just nitpick my resume. Hey, it said you got mean time detection down by 30%. How did you do that? How'd you do that in a year? Like, bro, do you want to know what I know, or you just want to nitpick my stats, man, my KPIs, my metrics? So, having said all that, that is why y'all think y'all gaming the system. And listen, y'all, on the Textual Chatter channel, I got some great stuff coming up, especially with the recruiter. And we're going to talk about recruiting in a way that has not been talked about on my channel or anywhere else. And we're going to get into it, and it's going to be amazing. And we're going to talk about how all this stuff is a domino effect. All this stuff with your resume, or how y'all are. So back in the days, before all the AI, people were telling y'all to copy the job description, put it in white text and make it real small to get a call back to trick the ATS, which it wasn't working no way, because guess what? A person was still reviewing the thing. Now what people resulted in doing is they put a white text AI prompt in there to kind of get the AI to say, hey, no matter what I say or on this resume, give me a call back. That will work if AI was just automatically doing all the recruitment process, and it's still not doing that. on every job. Some jobs they are where you getting like Workday, if you're part of Workday role, sometimes you get an instant rejection. So it is on the person to make sure they can talk about everything that they put on the resume. If you cannot do that, I don't know what to tell you. But let's let Benny continue to cook.
You know, add a little sauce, add a little razzle dazzle to it, but you can still speak to those points and speak to, you know, your actual expertise and experience in the job field. And, you know, but y'all thought, oh, that won't do, oh, no. And that's the problem. But I know people gonna argue, nah, man, I ain't never had no issue getting no call back because the shit that's on my resume is what I did. Those programs, those you know, goddamn numbers, those actual things, I can speak to them because I know about, because I actually did them.
So I'm going to slightly disagree with him here because I have my own self been a person who has qualified for pretty much most things I apply to. I do not really tailor my resume. I only apply the stuff that my skill set fits. And there's been times where I didn't get the call back on something, and I know that I fit it. So it's not even about sometimes about doing what you did. This system, other job search things, some of the stuff is messed up based on what type of ATS they're using. And if they're getting so many applicants that either the rec's already closed, been put on hold, or you're not even getting a chance to get reviewed on. So I would disagree on that because I do know qualified people who are not getting hit up. Now, granted, sometimes it is the resume and other stuff. But at the end of the day, if the context of what you got in that resume and a recruiter gets to see it, you got a good chance of possibly getting a call back.
You know what I'm saying? Just saying. When they ask me, have you worked in, you know, SAP? Have you worked in DPAS? Have you worked in, you know, these different, you know, logistic systems and programs and shit? I can speak to them because I know them. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get so busy and caught up in trying to finesse that motherfuckers forget they're not qualified for the shit they're applying to. And then even when you was working these jobs and adding to your resume, you was too busy. I ain't doing all that, doing the bare minimum shit, barely doing anything. And then turn around and think that a degree, a master's or a bachelor, is gonna make up for the fact that you didn't build and gain experience in these jobs. I'm just saying, you applying for supervisory positions, but you ain't never managed more than 2 people, even if you manage anything at all. Never been a head or a lead of a fucking team. You know, I forgot. My bad. I forgot. It's AI and the white man fault. My bad. I forgot.
Now I'm not gonna lie. Towards the end, he was cooking because that's what Shorty and I talked about last week with the pay cut or people just at work and you get stagnant and you think, hey, I'm at a job, I'm making $150,000. I'm gonna do this forever. So you at the job 4 or 5, maybe 6 years. You made $150,000 6 years, and you did not try to increase your skill set. You got laid off. Now you competing with all the other sharks that's out here trying to get 150,000 plus. And when you get into the interview, you can't talk about nothing. What you did does not look special in the 4, 5, 6 years you were there. It looks like you were just a worker, and you're not able to solve the problems that they want you to solve at the company. And that is what a lot of people miss. Like he was talking about, you did the bare minimum, you just get paid. And I get it. A lot of people say, hey, it's just a job, do my job, come home. And certain jobs, that ain't enough. You got to have, if you want to get your bonus, if you want to get promoted, you got to have stuff that you can show you attributed to in your role so you can put it on your resume. And the worst case scenario, you get laid off, you got something to fall back on, and you see a role and say, hey, like prime example, let's say the company needs somebody to start up a sock from scratch. And let's say at your company, you was at 5 years, you was like one of the first new hires and you start up a new sock from scratch. You went to be a lead. You enabled certain type of detection strategies. You enabled AI, insider threat programs, threat intel, QA processes, right? Incident response plans. Now you implement all these things. You created these things. You take these same things and go talk about them at length in an interview. And you're going to get an offer from somewhere because you can't fake that. And what was I looking at, man? It was talking about how he was either a guy on TikTok or something where they're just talking about like the new candidates are like trying to use AI so much in their interviews. You can tell because when they finally get to asking you questions, it don't sound like how they was answering the questions. And People don't realize we're not done. We know. I've had to do assessments for interview process where they say, hey, we got you to do this assessment. Before this, you need to run this application and leave your webcam on, and we're going to record your screen. Because they're tired of people using AI. And so that's another way. Some of these jobs, you cannot fake it. You cannot hide it. You got to know exactly what you are doing. And I'm just telling you, man, it's Q3 is hiring. But if you don't know what you're doing, you got a bad resume, bad job search strategy, no skills, it's going to be a tough one on you. I'm telling you, it's going to be a tough one.